Welcome into episode 51 of JD's Empire Sports Talk with Biggie, of course. Once again, we are now in week 5 of doing the show together. And
I know.
I thought, honestly, this one would be the one episode where we're kind of dry with topics, but that is definitely not the case after the NBA is going absolutely crazy as we speak right now. So if we hear any moments, we're going to have to break in some news if some crazy things happen. But we still have, of course, baseball news, a little bit of NFL news that we didn't think we would have here tonight, so that's a good thing. And and a good pick'em segment at the end, which everyone will probably know what we're gonna go with, but I think it's still good to have. And finally, we're not tied in the standings anymore, which is great. It's a little bit.
We finally broke that a little bit.
I was like, something has to change this week, and I mean, last week obviously we went different, and I squeaked out a narrow win. Either one of us could be 5-0 right now in the pick. So we're pretty much nailing it for the most part. It's just a bounce one way that could change it. But Big, you have anything you wanna get going with here? I know you have we do have a little bit of a new segment that
a little surprise later.
I would definitely stay tuned for that.
And if festive segment.
Of course, the 4th of July. This is 4th of July week here because it's on Friday, so. We're getting going early, and if anybody does want to go after Biggie for saying something that they don't like in terms of the list that he's going to make later, go ahead.
At me, bro.
He said he's ready for the challenge. That's what I heard in the pre-show. You said you're ready for the challenge. That's all I had.
Yes, I am. When it comes to this, I take it very seriously. If you couldn't tell.
There we go. So he is not messing around here tonight. Both of us aren't in the greatest sports mood either. So
no.
One of us may have a rough night. So we'll see what happens. But let's get it started with the NHL. The Florida Panthers, once again, still in the news, even though they won the championship, of course, the Stanley Cup final, just about over a week ago. Sam Bennett has re-signed to an 8-year deal with them. And then Brad Marchand, someone that you talked about last week that you didn't think would stay, 6-year deal. So this is going to hit those last 2 years or 3 years of that contract. He might be in a walker playing out there at this point, right?
I did not expect this move from Florida, but you know what? The way he played in that finals, I mean, I would try and get him, and you get him to agree to that too. That's awesome because you usually don't see that with a guy like him. Someone that's kind of, I don't want to say ring chasing, but he kind of was. You kind of assumed he was, he's at the end of his career somewhat. Clearly not as soon as we thought with this long deal. But, he had his time in Boston. His time was kind of coming to a close. The Bruins are on a slow decline right now. They kind of fell out of, what they were a couple years ago. And it was time for Marchand to get out of there and, get another cup after the 2011 Boston Cup. And he did. And I'm sure a lot of people thought that, okay, he's going to go to another contender now, or he'll go to like I said, he'll do a Claude Giroux situation, which we will talk about soon. Yeah. I thought he was going to do that, but nope. Another 6 years of Marchand in Florida. Is he going to be consistently good for all those years? I don't think so. I think he's too, at that point, he's going to be, I want to say he's definitely going to be in his 40s. Mm-hmm. So I think I could be wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure, but pretty sure he is. And again, I mean, he played his guts out. He played he played a fantastic Stanley Cup final. Big reason why they won. And it kind of surprised me, but let me tell you, the Florida Panthers know what they have, and they have the money to do it, and they're locking these guys in, and they're going to be good for a while.
Yeah, so I said some of the questions that we had last week were definitely answered because we were saying, okay, so a team that wins 2 years in a row, of course, they're going to want to go out and win more. But in the history of sports, we've seen teams that do a lot of winning in a short amount of time. Eventually, they kind of can't keep up with all they want to have around, and they kind of, okay, we're going to let this guy go. We'll try to maybe piece it around with someone else that kind of could maybe be the type of player that we had. And no, they're keeping the guys, and
I
they're
know.
doing it for
They
a
know
long
what they.
time. 6 years and 8 years is a very, very long time. And I was about to say, like that's like you just said, they're showing their money. I was gonna say that's a
Yeah.
show me the money type move. Like they're saying,
Yeah.
okay, we want our guys, we're gonna keep them around. We don't care what it costs.
Mm-hmm.
And we said last week, can they win another 1 or 2 in a row on to what they've done? I mean, right now they look like they're gonna go that way because who realistically in the East can get to their level? Honestly, I don't know right now. Like it's very
I don't
tough.
either. I don't either.
Like it's gonna have to be a team from the West at this point, right? Because the East doesn't
Yeah.
seem like they can get to that level at this point. It really doesn't feel that way.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
It's like in basketball with the Thunder. Like the Western Conference are all gonna battle to get to them, but
Mm-hmm.
can they get to that level? We don't know. That's the
You're
thing
right.
with right now in the Eastern Conference with these Panthers, man. They're just doing it the right way, and it's something
They
we said.
are.
You can root for a team like this. Obviously, we're not gonna out loud root for them, but you can
Yeah.
understand
No.
like they went through a lot, like we talked about numerous times in the beginning, like a few years back, of course, and now what they've gotten to, and like it's just insane. And now they're going after it, really going after it, and good for them. But we'll start with actually we'll keep the NHL here, and I just wanted to get maybe some of your draft takeaways because I know it was something we talked about last week was just like the overall draft process is a very very different in hockey compared to the other sports. In hockey, there may be guys that get drafted that don't play for their actual team for
Right.
a
Yeah.
while. There's a whole it's a lot of different things that happen along the way, and it's a long process. So, is anything you wanted to talk about in terms of the draft? Because I know some things uh, happened that could have been a surprise, and some other things that pretty much were set in stone before it happened. Anything in particular you had, Biggie, in terms of the draft?
Yeah, I want to talk about I'll talk about my team's pick because I was really happy with it.
I know you're very happy.
Porter Matrone, very good pick. Despite of where we were in the draft, like I think we should have. I know it's the lottery and all that, but I think for the season we had, I was kind of disappointed with the 6th overall pick.
Yeah, you were saying.
But I think this is a very good pickup by them. I don't think he was the best available at the time. I want to say I told you the draft for the NHL and the MLB. It's just we don't follow it as much as the NFL or the NBA. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think that first round pick, very good one, and I think the Flyers did well in the draft despite of where they were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're kind of building. They're building something. And
quietly,
I don't know if
they're doing it the
quietly.
Right way.
Yes, exactly. I don't know if you saw. But they just hired fighting coaches. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't see that.
They had like fighting lessons. Yes.
Okay.
So this team might actually, they're kind of being ran the right way. Like they're doing it the right way. They're building around. I think I want to say they're building around Michkov. They're getting some guys to help him, and I think this is going to be, as the years go on, a very young core. And Rick Talk is gonna get this team in shape. I really hope so. I don't want to get my hopes up because I did when we hired Tortorella, and that was a mess for the end of his time. But I just hope this isn't a failure because there's a lot of hype around them right now. With that, and the big move with Zegras and their draft picks. So I like it. I think they did well in the draft.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure that was the case. And usually, like I just said, but they're doing it quietly. Usually, when teams do things quietly and not in the news for BS, pretty much. Usually, that means they're gonna turn it around. Which not always, but we've seen cases
More
of
than likely
teams kind of fly under the radar. They make good moves that should or shouldn't be made. Like in terms of okay, maybe we may get rid of someone, but the guy we're bringing in fits us better right now. And I feel like with the Flyers from afar, like just watching of what they've done in the offseason, they're doing it the right way. And that's all you can ask for. It's like you just don't want to obviously maybe the headline moves are always what fans want, but that doesn't always work out in the end. We've known that numerous
Right.
times. We've seen those things happen. But staying with the NHL once again, Claude Giroux is back to Ottawa. That was the guy you talked about. We
Yeah.
talked about him just last week, and it feels like every time we bring someone's name up, it just they get
Something happens. Yeah.
yeah, something happens involving them. So him back to Ottawa is a good move, I think, for both parties. Just bringing back a veteran, and then him once again, like you said, is at the end of his career. It was a 1 year deal, so this could be it for him.
I
Maybe.
think it
I don't know.
is.
You
Yeah.
think so? Okay.
I think
Yeah.
this is it for Giroux.
Yeah. I mean, veterans are tricky with that because like guys that openly say if they're playing or not.
Yeah,
They
like
always take
Ovechkin.
the 1 year. Yeah, they always take like their 1 year deal because like they can evaluate after the year. But it kind of seems like it's more of the end for Giroux, who's had obviously a
A
great career.
legendary career.
Yeah,
Awesome.
a great player, and that's good for him. I like to see that when veterans kind of go back to their hometown, can be more comfortable. At the end of their career,
Yeah.
'cause
I was
before you know
hoping
it,
he'd
you're done.
I was hoping he'd come back to Philly for a year, but
Yeah,
he might do what Wayne Simmons did though. He might sign with the Flyers to retire as a Flyer because
yeah, yeah.
he might do
And,
that. I hope he does.
and you never know. Maybe the Flyers would be in a playoff conversation. They could trade for him maybe at some
Yeah,
point.
they get him at the trade deadline. Yeah,
Yeah, you never know. That could
You
be something.
never know.
You could watch out for that one. The next move that was made in the NHL was a goalie swap. I wanted you
Yep.
to get more because I know Gibson from the Ducks. I know he's a okay goaltender. Like he's not
Yeah,
great.
he's one of the better. He's one of the better ones.
Yeah,
One of the
and
guys that's noteworthy.
so they made a goalie swap, the Ducks and the Red Wings. I wanted you to take this one over more because we don't see a goalie swap happen a lot, like in terms
Not
of
really.
trading. Like that's what I was
Right.
gonna say. So what like is the main takeaway from this? What do you think of that? Like it's kind of just they kind of want to both guys just want to maybe see a new just get a fresh
Yeah,
look. Is
get a
that what you
change of
kind of
scenery. Yeah,
yeah, right?
I think that's
That's
the
what
best way to put it. A change of scenery for both these guys. Because, like you said, you don't see goalie and goalie trades like that too often. So I think it's a way of getting these guys a fresh start in new places.
okay. Yeah, that's what I
That's all I
kind of
gotta
what I was.
say.
It's 'cause I was gonna say it doesn't really happen very much. Maybe in the
No,
NFL you see backup quarterbacks get traded, but not very much. But
no,
it's possible. That's kind of the only thing you can think of. I mean, we've seen starting quarterbacks get traded, but that was more so like those teams both really wanted that. Like you think of
Mhm.
Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, but both teams kind of wanted to go in that direction. And then the next move was Dobson. What is his first name again? I apologize. Is it
Ooh, go ahead.
it always slips my mind. I was gonna say he was traded to the Canadians, and then more. Of course, this is a good move for Montreal. It feels like listen, they're a team that has struggled in the recent years, but
Yep.
it feels like they're turning it around slowly. Which I
I
mean,
was just gonna say that it is very slowly that they're turning themselves around. It's been a couple of years, but
yeah,
they're
yeah,
slowly making these little moves as they go forward, and they're getting better each year. But it's been very slow for Montreal for sure.
yeah. I mean, some teams. I mean, it takes a while, and I guess
Yeah,
they're gonna try to go that way. It's Noah Dobson. I knew because he was from the Islanders. I just couldn't think of his
yeah,
name off the top of my head. But younger guy too, so he kind of fits the new, I guess, way of what they want to do. He's only 25 years old, former first round pick, so he has tons of potential in him, and he's played good hockey already in his career. Just now, he just goes to a new team and see what he can do with that. And then Mitch Marner to Vegas, something you just
yeah. I
added.
just added that because that
That's
came
big.
out. Yeah, Marner, big trade, 8-year deal with the Vegas Golden Knights. You know what I mean? Just wow. Um, Big trade because it looks like Toronto's this year was the farthest they've gotten in a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
And they kind of had that core of Marner and Matthews and even oh my what's his name? How do I forget
Nylander,
this?
Nylander,
Yeah, Nylander and who's the guy from the Islanders?
Tavares.
Tavares, yes.
Yeah,
How did I forget John Tavares? But yeah, those four are their core guys, and they got pretty far this year for the Toronto Maple Leafs standpoint.
yeah.
But this might be the rebuilding stage. I mean, you just traded one of your best guys, Mitch Marner, to Vegas. Nicholas Waugh, they got in return for
Mhm.
that, and yeah, that's a pretty a pretty big deal for Vegas. That might give Vegas a little more star power. Maybe they can get back to the cup this year. Maybe that could be that team that knocks off Florida, gives them a little boost.
Yeah, you
Again,
never know.
Marner.
I give Vegas so much credit because of how like it's so tough, like becoming a new team, and they just didn't have. They had a smooth transition, and then they could just continue to win. Is what makes him like another team to root for. But yeah, Mitch Marner, man, that's a big name going to the Western Conference. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens with that. I expect his production to be more than okay with them because they're a team that usually can score a lot. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing. With
And I know this isn't in the notes, but I kind of want to bring this up because this can bring on the topic of the Oilers. They just signed Evan Bouchard to a 4-year deal. So
okay.
they're keeping him around. The future of McDavid, I'm pretty sure he'll probably stay around. So the Oilers are trying to hone in on what they have, and they think they could. I think that's a move that shows that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I was going to say, though, the question I had was when we talked about this, okay, you're going to try to bring back what you have, but now you've gotten to the same spot 2 years in a row. Is it maybe they just feel that they can get over that hump? Is that what you think it is? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's tough. Like, that's what we said. Like, you get to a certain point, you got to be realistic and be like, okay, so we got this far. Maybe this isn't the group that's going to get us to the promised land. And
sure, yeah, but I think the Oilers think they have it still.
yeah,
You know what
that's
I
what
mean?
yeah, if they think that, then we'll see what happens with them. But of course, they're a great team. Like you make the
Yeah.
champion,
Oh my God.
you
Yeah.
make the cup final 2 years in a row. You're doing something right. But it's
Yeah.
also you got to think about okay, so the Panthers aren't going anywhere, and we're not going anywhere if we don't think this is the group we need to break up. We're just going to keep colliding with them. Can we break through? So I guess this year, coming year, they think that's the case for them. And another
Mhm.
move that actually I just saw as well happened about 20 minutes before we got on. Provorov
Oh
re-signed
yeah.
the Blue
With the
Jackets.
Columbus Blue Jackets, a 7-year deal.
Yeah, so these guys are getting nice contracts, man.
I was gonna say this guy he's definitely a vet, for sure. He was with the Flyers for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was about to bring that up.
He
Yeah,
was a great on the Flyers, and I think that's a good move by Columbus. There, that's someone who I even think at this point in their career is still pretty solid. You know what I mean? And they
yeah,
have faith in him clearly. So there you go. I like that.
100%. And then another little move. I know just because he was on the Rangers for a little bit, Vladimir Tarasenko traded from the
Oh yeah,
Red Wings to the Wild. So another guy, a few moves now, guys going from the Eastern Conference to the Western Conference. I feel.
yeah, and
Go
this is
ahead.
also a guy that I he's been good, but he's been around a little bit. Like
A little
for the
bit.
way his career started, you know what I mean? Like he was on the
Yeah.
cover of Chell in 2017. He
Uh-huh.
was the Blues, like, promised land type guy, you know what I mean? And he just kind of I don't know what happened.
Yeah, he kind of had a. I remember when the Rangers got him, it was kind of like, yeah, he's going to be really good for us. He was all right. I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
going to say he
he's
wasn't good, but
he's really turning into a journeyman now a little bit. If you want to
yeah,
put it in the context of like, a journeyman quarterback or something. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Tarasenko's turning into that type of player. I mean, you know what I mean?
yeah. At least he's still in the league, though. It
Oh
kind of
yeah. Uh-huh.
that's a good thing. I mean, he could still be a little, but he's productive. It's just not what he was, or once was, I should say. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and also to hone in on that, this is his 15th team since 2023.
that's that's a lot, man. That is a
Wow.
lot.
That is like Wayne Simmons at the end of his career.
Yeah, that is definitely a lot. Yeah, if we have any other NHL news, we'll get to it. But I mean, this is like it's insane. Like everything's kind of popping off at once here with the
Yeah, it's like
NHL as
and the
well.
NBA is the same way, like we said
Yeah, so
earlier.
so yeah, if we hear about any NHL like big NHL news before we sign off, we will definitely get back to that. But for now, let's move along to the MLB where Aaron Judge first to 30, or actually not
Hmm.
first to 30, he's second to 30 because Kyle Riley, we
Yeah,
talked about.
Colorado. Yeah,
He's
our
he's
guy.
he got there last week, but Judge is at 30 home runs already with a monster Sunday afternoon for a Yankees team that needed what he put up yesterday.
Oh, they needed that big time. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and the average before tonight's game was 356. So Judge is once again being one of the best players in the league, and I felt like okay,
As we
well, why
expected.
not? Why not make the main headline Aaron Judge because he's that type of player. He deserves the recognition,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
he's
Still,
just
he's a
does not
monster.
matter who bats before him, doesn't matter who bats after him. He just gets up there and hits, and that's greatness. I mean, the future Hall of Famer that we get to watch is pretty
Hmm.
pretty cool. Yeah, especially for the Yankee fans. And then
I say we
other
needed that.
definitely, yeah, definitely the way the Yankees have been playing lately. And then
Yes.
Luis Robert, who Obviously has not had a good year at all. I think he's still hitting under 200, but he's a potential trade candidate and hot actually trade candidate right now for a bunch of teams that need center fielders or outfielders in general. I don't see it. I really don't. He's very lazy. Now injured with a hamstring problem, and those things don't go away right away. And
No.
it's also like, listen, I understand you're on the White Sox. You're not on a good team, so your energy may not be there every night. But to me, if you want to get out of there, you bring the most energy you ever brought. So in a month from now, you're going to be out of there. That's the way
Right.
I look
Yeah.
at it. And it seems like he's not like I don't know. He just doesn't want to be there, which obviously you can understand that, but it looks bad. And then you go to a team and then you're not playing well. Like that's I don't
Well,
know.
that's the thing, especially if you go from, a team like the Chicago White Sox and you go to someone that's actually kind of good and
Yeah.
you have that same mindset and mentality, you're going to suck there.
Exactly. That's what I was
You're
just
not
about
going to
to
be
say.
playing on the level of the other guys because if you're with a good team, all those guys are high energy and they want to be there and they want to win. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's like
Exactly. I listen. I know that the only guys in the league that can flip a switch like that are the top talent, like top talented players that can
yeah.
be like, okay, one night, I don't know if I want to be here tonight. The next night they look great. He's not that. I
No.
listen. He's talented. He's not at that level where he can say, okay, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm not gonna try for the next month or so. I mean, who knows though? This hamstring injury could just be him protecting himself from okay, maybe I'm not feeling too great, but I definitely could play through it. But I'm also on the White Sox. Do I want to play through it? Can I wait? Can I?
Right.
You never know. And I also I don't know if I don't think I sent this to you, but I may have sent it to someone else. Was the White Sox not last year, the year before, 2023? I mean, they weren't good either, but
Yeah.
there was I forget who it was. Some guy was traded to the White Sox during the year, and he said there was guys on that team who faked injuries or made them worse than what they were because the team stunk. They didn't want to play. So I mean,
Shows how they're run as an organization. Jeez.
exactly, and it hasn't
Wow.
gotten better for them. So I can very
No.
easily. I don't want to speculate, but I can very easily see this being a tactic of, yeah, my hamstring is definitely tight, but I can easily be traded in a month to a contending team, and I want to go there, and I don't want to wait. Play, and then you never know what hamstrings. They can get worse by the day, and then you're
Right.
screwed, and then you can't get traded. So that could be that way as well. So either way, I just think he needs to fix his attitude and go in the right direction because you can't play like that. It
No.
does. I'm sorry, you can't. And the next move is actually a young player who's an absolute stud this year,
Mm-hmm.
James Wood, first player since Barry Bonds. So putting those two in the same sentence shows how
Category. It's
impressive he
crazy.
was. Yeah, and he received 4 intentional walks in one game yesterday, and he's been great, man. So him
Mm-hmm.
getting intentionally walked 4 times in one game is absurd to me. But James Wood is
Yeah.
the guy that is on fire right now. And for a Nationals,
Clearly.
yeah, and for a Nationals team, we talked about this. I don't know if it was last week, the week before. They're a very young team, but they do have tons of talent littered all over that team, and
Mm-hmm.
Wood is definitely one of those guys, 100%. And
I mean, clearly, if you're
Biggie,
in the same category as Barry Bonds, I would say so.
exactly. And I was gonna say Biggie, if it's I don't know if he can be voted as an All-Star starter anymore. I don't know. I think he might have gotten screwed out of that. But if it's up to us, we're gonna vote him into the All-Star game. I
Oh, I
say
agree. I would. Yeah.
we gotta get on the voting website and we gotta vote this guy into the game because he
Yeah.
deserves
I
it.
agree.
100. Yeah, I don't think he can be a starter though because I think they do it by like different stages, and I think I mean I don't want to take anything away from Soto, but Wood is having a better year than Soto, so I just recognition I guess Soto is Soto and Wood is not there yet, so that's probably why.
But he's
And I
having a
am
better
wearing a
year right
Soto
now.
jersey. Yeah, so oh yeah, but yeah, James Wood, man, keep it going. Very very exciting for him, and he's killing it. The 22 home runs that's impressing me the most. And he
Yeah.
came up last year. He showed flashes, but he's taken that step right away.
Yep.
Then next little bit of news was kind of funny to me. Dennis Santana, who did pitch on the Mets a little bit last year, member of the Pirates now. This was earlier last week. He is now officially started his suspension because he appealed it, so it got shortened a little bit. It's 3 games, so that if they are playing tonight, I don't know if they are or not, but that would be the second game of the suspension. I think they are playing tonight. He was fighting with a fan in the bullpen, so not just arguing. He reached up and actually hit the fan in the face, or whatever the case may be.
Classy.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. Like, okay, fans could definitely get under players' skin, but you're the pro, So you got to be able to just ignore that. And the fact that you got up and actually climbed half the bullpen wall to hit a guy, not a good look, man. And it just, I once again, I just don't understand why these players do these stupid things. And
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week with Shador Sanders. Like,
Yeah.
why do they do this stupid stuff? You're obviously on a bigger spectrum of everything than an average person. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, I just don't get it.
Everything, like we said this, everything that these guys do gets magnified, and you're gonna do something like that. I mean, you're in the middle of a game too, like that.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. You're in the middle of the game. You should be locked in on the game. Like,
I don't know, man. And he has actually been doing pretty well this year, so that's a little bit of a loss for the Pirates. So that's
yeah.
another one. I mean, I know the Pirates aren't doing anything this year, but a little bit of a loss for the Pirates as a whole and Santana just being stupid. And then the last thing we'll do here is a standings check-in. I'll start us off this week because I know you did last week.
I did last week, so it's your turn.
Yeah, I got you. We'll do a little bit of a rotation here once again before we move on. So the Philadelphia Phillies are in first place after the Mets have just been crap for the last 2.5 weeks, 3-12 in their last, I think, 15 games. Or it might have been worse than that at this point. But the Phillies also, they're not playing great. So I don't know if they're not taking advantage of what the Mets' poor play has been in the past week or so. And the Phillies do have a game and a half advantage, yes, but they can definitely very easily have it higher. The Braves feels like they go 2 steps forward and 3 steps back every time they play. They are 10.5 out of first place, and they've been 4-6 in their last 10. So they, yes, like I said, they play good and then they lose. They go on a little bit of a streak. They go backwards. I know that's just been the story of the Braves the whole year. It's just mind-boggling to me because they have so many good players on that team. I just don't understand how that they just can't keep that going and just like continue to play well. I don't get it. And then the Marlins, 37-45. The Marlins have been playing absolutely great. 8-2 in their last 10. If I believe right, they still might be on their winning streak as well. Let me check. Yeah, they are. I believe they're on a 6-game winning streak now? 6 or 7-game winning streak. They're also scoring at like the tops in the league. I don't know where this came from, honestly, but
came from somewhere.
I could not tell you where it came from, but they are playing great. Only a half a game out of the Braves, so they can easily be in third place the next time we go over the standings. And then the Nationals, they're a little bit away, but they just had a really rough June as a whole. They weren't that much under 500 going into June, and then they kind of just collapsed really, really bad. So we'll see what happens with them. But they're 35-49 to round out the NL East. Then we'll go to the NL Central, which has been good baseball lately. Cubs are at 49-35. Weren't great over the last 10, but they're just holding their weight. Something we've said for the past 3 weeks. They're not doing anything to cost themselves the division, but they're not doing anything to extend the lead. So
right.
the Cubs are just doing what they have to do to stay in first place. They started out so good that they can afford to have a little bit of an average period.
Definitely.
100%. And then the Brewers, man, this is a team that's 47-37, 2 games out of first, and they're on a really hot streak right now. And they brought up I cannot remember his last name for the life of me. It started with a W, but he a prospect for the Brewers. He has been on an absolute heater since he came up pitching. I think and he strikes out like 8 guys every start. I'm like, this guy making his debut and he's doing this. I've never seen that in my life. Like just a prospect that comes up in no like little bit of a adjustment period, just going out there and just throwing smoke. He threw against Skeens last week, and he outdueled them. So I was like, "Wow, that's impressive."
And that's pretty impressive to do.
Of course, I mean, if you're out pitching Paul Skeens, you're doing a great job. And then the Cardinals at 47-38, so they're just a half a game out from the Brewers. They're also playing really good in their last 10, 7-3. And now Central is a juggernaut so far this year, which people probably didn't expect that.
I was gonna say no one expected that really, but
not at all.
Here we are.
Yeah, and then the Reds are 44-40, 5 games out of first place, 5-5 in their last 10. They're right in the wild card mix, so they definitely have a good chance at making the playoffs. And we'll see what happens with the Reds. But yeah, that division, the Brewers and the Cardinals were definitely teams that people didn't think would
be this good. Yeah,
improve. They didn't think they would be improved because the Brewers lost a lot of guys, but The Brewers are like the Tampa Bay Rays. They can make up for it, and they just go along. It doesn't matter who they have. Cardinals, I just felt there was a team that had talent, and they just didn't play up to it last year. And they did lose a few pieces, but they are playing up to it now. And then the Reds, like we talked about, they have so much young talent. I think Chase Burns is actually on the mound tonight against Garrett Crochet, so that should be a really entertaining matchup. But he pitched good against the Yankees last week, Burns. He looked pretty good. His defense didn't help him. So if the defense kind of helped him out, he probably wouldn't have given up a run at all in that outing. And then the Pirates, 35-50, 6-4 in their last 10 games, way out of first place, but they did sweep the Mets over the weekend. So that did not make me very happy. And then in embarrassing fashion too. It wasn't even close game. It was like a beatdown for no. I just don't get it. And then the NL West, the Dodgers, man, they are on an absolute tear lately. 53-32. I think they're like 12-2 in their last 14 games, something crazy like that. Their pitching is getting healthy, and this is what happens when their pitcher gets healthy.
Right.
Ohtani, we didn't see Ohtani checking. What'd you say?
When they're at full strength.
Oh yeah, and they're not even there yet. Just think of that, and they're unstoppable. And
I know.
Like about 2 weeks ago, the Mets and the Cubs are about the same record as the Dodgers, and now the Dodgers they're just.
Just instantly just got above all. I mean,
they're the only. I don't believe they're going to stop either. I really don't think so. And they have in the All. I know I keep talking about the All-Star game voting, but they have I think every position they have a chance of having someone starting there, except for one of the outfield spots. That just shows all you need to know about that team. They're just insane.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It really is. Second place, the Padres at 45-38. They are 7 games out of first place. Padres are playing good ball. Seems like they're going to be buyers at the deadline because they're right in the mix of the wild card, like they usually are. But they're an intriguing team because when they go after it, they go. Like they don't just.
I was gonna say, I know they make big moves. They do.
Yeah, they make big, bold moves, and they don't care what it takes to get those guys. And we'll see what happens with the Padres. They would not be shocked if they go out there and get someone high-tier pitcher or even a high-tier hitter at this point to make something of themselves. And then the Giants, 45-39, 4-6 in their last 10. They're kind of in the same range as they were last time we talked, but it seems like the Devers move has been good for them. They're doing all right with that. They're in the mix too. They're right in there. They're right in the mix of the wild card. That's all they can ask for.
Right,
and then
exactly.
The Diamondbacks. That's one of the teams that we said that they could be very easily be sellers at the deadline, and they're now under 500. And I feel the slide is going to continue for them.
It's the end.
Yeah, no. I don't think they have the makings of a team that can do anything in the postseason. And if I were them, you have a lot of talent on that team. Get rid of them, man. You just try.
Whatever they need to rebuild. They need to go to rebuild mode, I think.
Yeah, and especially in that division, you're looking up at those 3 teams ahead of you. Dodgers and the Padres aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
Especially the Dodgers.
And the Giants.
Oh my God.
Especially the Dodgers. You're exactly.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Nope, they are not. And then the Giants. They're a team that every couple of years, they come out with something, a good product on the field. So they're not going to really go away. Diamondbacks they're kind of in a weird spot. So it feels like maybe. Get those pieces out of there that are veterans or guys that contracts you can get rid of and go from there. And then the Rockies, 19-65, nothing really to say about them, 33.5 out of first place. So they might set the record for most games out of first by the end of this year. And that's something we actually have to monitor. We got to see.
I was going to say we have to monitor that because they were the first team our first episode, it was my chalked moment.
It was something like 50 losses before 10 wins or something crazy like that.
Yeah. That first to be under 10 or something, but they're 33.5 games behind. My God.
And it's not even July yet. So just think of another.
I know. It's
another 3-4 months of baseball that they can, and the Dodgers aren't losing. So, man. And the Rockies, we gave them credit. We're like, yeah, they started off June pretty good. And they just, I don't know, man. They're a lost franchise. Nothing really helped. You can't save them. It is what it is.
Yeah, I know. Nothing you can really do.
Nope, nothing at all.
So far gone. All right, well, let's go into the AL. Let's start with the AL East. The Yankees are still on top. They've been in a skid. They have been for a little bit, but they are 6-4 in their last 10. So they are winning somewhat. But they're doing enough to get by. But the thing with them is they're winning series, they're winning games. But some of these losses, like they lost 7, they got shut up by the A's Saturday night, and then they lose 2 out of 3 to the Reds. I mean, it's stuff like that. Like I said, they're doing enough to get by. They're winning some games. Like they're not, no offense, they're not doing as bad as the Mets are right now. But you know what I mean? Yeah.
I
then, even so, like, I don't know. I just, some of these losses are just questionable. They have me like scratching my head a little bit. But again, they're doing enough to get by. They're still in first. They're still, ahead in their last 10. But coming up close behind is Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is really, really, really close. Yes, they're also 6-4 in the last 10. They are climbing up there. The Yankees got to watch out because if they don't pick it up even in the slightest and they keep losing these stupid games, like I said, Tampa Bay is going to sneak up on them. They're only a game and a half out.
Go crazy, and it's going to make you go crazy.
Yeah. No, I don't want that. Tampa Bay getting ahead of us, especially for how we started out the year. I mean, come on.
Can't have it.
No. And then Toronto, they're 45-38. I mean, they're playing good baseball. They're getting better each week, I think. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're improving every week. And then Boston, oh my God, they're below 500. 41-44. 3-7 in the last 10. There it is, folks.
There it is.
Now, we kind of predicted that too, didn't we?
We did. We said it didn't happen as quick as we said, but we said it would happen, and it did. And listen,
here they are.
I wanted to add one point to this was they're a team too. Like, listen, they're gonna keep going. I just feel by the deadline, they're just gonna keep going this way down. They have talent they can get rid of. They should.
Yeah.
You already traded your best player. Why not?
That's why they got rid of their best guy. They got rid of Devers. They might as well sell the whole house. You know what I mean?
Knowing them, they probably won't because they're stupid. But
yeah, I agree. They are. And then Baltimore again, just just a disappointing year. You know what I mean? Because I always say it all the time, but they kind of had a little bit of a hype around them. People did expect some more out of them, and they just didn't at all. It's sad for Baltimore. And let's move into the Central now. The Detroit Tigers. They have the same record as the LA Dodgers. Great. What kind of world are we living in where the Detroit Tigers have the same record as the Dodgers? I love it. You know me. Like I'm a partial, I'm a supporter of the Tigers. I saw a game at Comerica last year, and it was a great time. So I always root for the Tigers when I can. And I love seeing them do well, especially for Detroit sports. They're on the rise. Like Detroit is a sports city in general with the success the Lions have had. Yeah, the Pistons have been getting better. And the Tigers are having an insane year, and the Red Wings are still the Red Wings, but they're getting there somewhat. They're kind of the bottom part of that, but that's not for this segment. We're on baseball. Come on, stop talking hockey. We're on baseball here. And then it's just the disparity in the AL Central is kind of wild to me here. This is a really, really bad division. This is really bad.
We did hype it up 3 weeks ago.
We really did, and oh my God, we were wrong. I mean, the second place team, there's the Tigers are ahead 11 and a half games, and they're the only team above 500. I mean, you look at Cleveland; they're 40-42, and it's like
four.
Yeah, and they're two, and you go through the standings here. You have Cleveland, Minnesota, Kansas City, all below 500. They're all 3-7 in their last 10. This, and what I mean. This is a division that is just bad. This is the worst division in baseball right now, for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's the worst.
And something else too. That we said this 3 weeks ago. We said all 4 of those teams were over 500. We're like, man, this is the best.
They were,
baseball, and they just have not played good. We thought the Royals with bringing up Caglione, we thought that would be a good move for them.
It hasn't done them good.
The Twins and the Guardians can't hit baseballs. I guess they don't do. Maybe they don't know batting practice. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably don't.
And if you can't score runs consistently, you're not going to win. It just
no.
It is.
I mean, clearly, look at the AL Central.
Terrible. 3-7. They're all, and now the Tigers. They're like you just said, 11.5 game lead. They can cruise their way.
I was gonna say they've been hot all year. They haven't fallen off. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and watch, we'll say that, and then they'll fall off next week. Next week we'll be saying, "What happened to the Detroit Tigers?"
Going into the All-Star break, they'll have 2 more wins than they do now. That's
right. Yeah, that's just how it works for us. And then Chicago, I think that's more of a team culture thing than anything.
Yeah,
that organization sucks. I'm sorry, it does.
It does.
It's really bad.
5 in the last 10 though.
Yeah, the better than everyone else.
Somehow.
Yeah. And then we'll move on to the West here. Surprisingly, kind of the same deal, but not as bad. Houston's still in first with a 50-34 record.
They've been really good.
They've been really good. They have been 7-3 in their last 10. Seattle's been better. You know what I mean? They've been playing pretty good, 6-4 in their last 10. They're just above 500 now. They still are 6.5 games though behind the Astros, but they're getting there. That's a team.
They're
That's another team
in a
that
wild card mix though.
they
So
are. Yes.
exactly for them at this point. Yeah, honestly, like the Astros are just playing so good that the Mariners just go for the wild card, make a trade deadline move that helps you get in there. And so
Yeah.
you never know. We've seen teams over the years. You get in the wild card and you can get to the World Series. It's very possible.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyone could. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, and then I mean the Dodgers. I mean the Angels, the other LA team. Geez, you know they're getting by somewhat. 5-5 in their last 10. They're just below 500. Still not a great baseball team, but they're holding their own.
I don't know if did I mention this last week that their manager is out for the rest of the year.
Yes.
Like I did, right? Yeah,
Yes,
no. Well,
we
now
did.
he's actually out for the entire. I'm pretty sure the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Health concern. So and Ron
Yeah.
Washington, he's a well respected voice in baseball. So that we'll see how they respond.
Handle it.
Yeah, because it can either go where they go on a run and make the playoffs, or they could just go tank. Tank right into the
Right.
into-
Yeah.
yeah,
They let it affect them and negatively. You know.
yeah. It's tough.
It is. It's a tough situation. It really is. Yeah, and then Texas Rangers 41-43, 5-5 in their last 10, kind of the same thing. They're just a boring team.
They're disappointing. They have
Like
so many players that should be producing, and they can't. They're another
they're
team.
just
They
not.
can't hit. They
Yeah.
cannot hit. And
I know.
I'm secretly being selfish here with the Rangers. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm secretly rooting for them to be bad, just so the Mets can go out and try to bring Jacob deGrom back.
Mhm.
The only way that would happen though is if he approves the trade. So I don't know because I felt like he wouldn't have left in the first place if he like if he did.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You got to look at why he left in the first place, or like the whole
Yeah.
situation of him.
But now it's
leaving the
kind of a
team.
little different, like in terms of the team. But
Yeah, they are a lot different than they were when deGrom left. It's a lot. It's a lot better.
yeah, I'm selfishly rooting for the Rangers to lose. But yep. Now with that being said, they'll probably start winning again.
Yeah, exactly. And then the A's, they are playing a tiny bit better. Not a great baseball team though. Tough situation for them, like we've said every week. And yeah,
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw that as well. Luis Severino, of course, Yankees and Mets guy. He
yeah,
also said he was complaining about the stadium, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm something with about like I might as well should stay in spring training and pitch there." Like that was he took a shot at the stadium and organization. I think he's going to be traded at the deadline.
Oh yeah, yep.
He just signed with them, but I think that he doesn't want to be there anymore. So
Yeah, Sevy.
you never know. Maybe the Mets
Yeah.
or Yankees can bring him back.
That would be kind of nice if he
back to New York.
plays like healthy Severino. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
When he was healthy for us, he was awesome, but he
Yeah.
was always hurt. Like,
Yeah, that's
he
the
couldn't
thing.
stay healthy in New York. He never could. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's why I was shocked last year that he was actually able to make an entire year's worth of starts for the Mets.
Great. I know. Yeah, he was good.
I really was upset that he was let go and like they didn't want to bring him back. But I mean, now you look at it, you said okay, so we're gonna let Severino go. I know I'm gonna start rambling, but you let Severino go. You let Severino go, but you bring in Frankie Montas for almost the same amount of money, just a year less. Just bring Severino back at that point. And now you look at it. I mean, Severino hasn't been great for the A's, but on the road he has under a 3 ERA, and at home is where his numbers have spiked up. He hasn't been good at home in Sacramento. So you take that away, he gets traded. You never know what his numbers can be. So
right, exactly, and you know what he's capable of, and I don't think he's
great.
out of that at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He
exactly.
still has that.
Exactly. So hopefully for him, he gets out of Sacramento, wherever they play. I don't know. But before we get into the NBA, I actually have something I want to talk to you about, Biggie.
Yeah.
It's not bad news for you, but it's something else.
It's your shocked moment of the week.
Shocked moment.
Shocked moment of the week.
So we know the NBA draft took place last week. Last Wednesday, the first round happened, and before and after the draft, this guy is still creating problems. Ace Bailey. So Rutgers actually had 2 players drafted in the top 5 this year, which is something that's never happened in school history for them. And they did. They did produce 2 top 5 players, which is credit to that whole staff at Rutgers
Oh
for
yeah,
getting 2
fantastic.
freshmen drafted in the top 5. Really impressive. But Ace Bailey, so going into the draft, he declined every workout from every NBA team, which I've never seen that before, like
Yeah.
ever, unless it was like for someone that knew he wasn't going to be drafted in the top 3. That is different. Like Cooper Flag, why work out? I mean, obviously it's nice to meet the people you're going to be drafted by,
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
but like Cooper Flag, he could have been an exception. You go, okay, I'm
Yeah,
not going to work
like
out for any team, and why
we
why
all
risk
knew he was gonna go first. Like,
exactly? Ace Bailey was not guaranteed in the top 3. Like you know what I'm saying? So
right.
the funny part of this whole thing is he didn't want to be drafted in the top 5 or 6. He said, or whatever his agent was saying. His agent
Yeah,
supposedly is a really like he's a big problem in this whole thing.
clearly.
So he got drafted by the Jazz Wednesday night, who they
Yeah.
had the 5th pick, and he also declined to work out with the Jazz. But Danny Ainge, who was a longtime guy with the Celtics, like front office executive, he's known to be like a stubborn type of guy. So
Mhm.
I understood. Like, listen, Ace Bailey's talented. Why would you not want him on your team? But the fact of the guy declining or your workout with them and still drafting him, I kind of feel that's funny. And then after the draft, so you know how like in the NFL it works the same way. Guys get drafted the next day, they fly out to whatever team they were drafted by, they take the pictures, they sign their contract, all the good stuff that comes with
Right,
getting
yeah.
drafted, of course. He still I think maybe today he did it or up until today. So he went from Thursday all the way to today without going to the Jazz and flying to Utah because he was trying to see if he can get out of it. Like, are we serious?
This is
Like,
that's
come on,
just insane to me. Come on. What is
come
going
on. What
Oh
is
my god.
happening? What is happening? NBA,
Uh
we already know the NBA is a type of league where players control the entire situation.
yeah, and that's
And
why I
for
don't
a
like
guy,
watching it much anymore.
yeah, I'm with you on that. I am with you 100%. I used to sit there every night, whatever it is, even if the Knicks weren't playing, I would watch. Especially, I know when they have the Saturday primetime games and Sunday afternoon games, I would even watch those.
Yeah.
NBA has got me sick to the point I only watch my Knicks, and they make me sick sometimes. But
Yeah.
they've been good lately, so that's besides the point. But Ace Bailey, you have not played a minute in the NBA yet, and you have the nerve to say what team or try to get what team you want to go to. Come on, this
I
is
agree.
this is getting out of hand, and this is the problem. What we said weeks ago with the college atmosphere for athletes at the D1 high D1 level, they get treated like pros before they're pros, so they think that they can act a certain way, even though they're not there yet. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
sure, yeah, and I this isn't a shot at Rutgers, but Rutgers is a school back. They're not, they weren't really in anything school.
No,
They're on the rise athletics though. Their athletics are definitely on the rise. Um, Football, basketball, but their basketball program's been bottom of the Big Ten forever. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And they
yeah,
finally had a good year, so maybe they kind of treated them that way at Rutgers because they're like, okay, we have this now. Our program is at a point where we're good. We can, these guys know what they're doing. Let's let them be themselves and do all this stuff. But you can't have that. And I don't know if I don't know anything on the inside or anything like that. I never played at a college level higher than Division III. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know the ins and outs of all that stuff, but I know maybe that some of these lower tier programs, once they get a little bit of a boost in something, they kind of just let everything go because they're like, oh, we're good. We have to hold on to whatever we have. We can't lose these people, especially with the way the transfer portal and NIL is.
oh
Like,
yeah,
I mean, I feel like that some of these schools that don't have continuous success kind of get to a point where they let these players, build these egos up and attitudes because they don't want to lose them. They want to cater to them. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
which
And
is a problem.
that's a problem because you get to the NBA and stuff like this happens. You know what I mean? But I think that's a result of NIL and the transfer portal, especially NIL, because of how you're giving these college kids millions of dollars, not just in football. You see it in basketball too. Same deals. You know what I mean? I think that's added to this, and maybe that's why we're seeing this more often nowadays because of the rise of NIL and how out of hand it is.
Yeah, and it's only making it like it's only getting worse, which is
Yes. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like ever since they passed that bill where you could get NIL money, you're seeing it way, way more. Like you're seeing it like all the time now. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
not just football. Like here's an example of Ace Bailey in basketball. You know what I mean? Because the NIL is even prevalent in the college basketball too.
Oh yeah, it's big. It's big
Yeah.
in college. And yeah, hopefully the Jazz. Listen, the Jazz aren't going to let him go, so I don't know if he
No,
thinks that's the case. But hopefully that like the relationship isn't like uh, not
tarnished.
good in the beginning. Like, yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to start off on a bad note. You know what I mean? Like you don't want that. And it seems like he's trying to whatever he's trying to do with that, but it's just not going to work. And also, I listen. We're saying the players like they're part of it, but it's also who's in your circle talking in your ear, telling you these things because
Yeah,
at this level of those type of players, they never had any like failures in their sports career. So they're always been told they're up here. So now, okay, maybe you're not a specific number pick or you're not going to this specific team and they don't know how to act because they've never had to deal with something where it didn't go exactly the way they wanted it to. So
right.
that's
They weren't the star.
exactly. And the whole thing just had me confused is because he didn't want to go to the Jazz at number 5, but he'd rather go lower. So you want to lose money, and also the team from 5 to 8, those teams are all in the same boat. They stink. Like there's
Yeah,
not really, it's not that much of a difference unless
yeah.
it's a team that's good that got the pick, but that wasn't the case. It
No, it
wasn't
never
anybody
usually
good in
is.
their range. Exactly. So I really just didn't understand. Maybe it's just logistics. Maybe he didn't want to go across the country. I know he's not from Jersey, but he's from this kind of not like
The Northeast
this
region,
area,
somewhat.
kind
Where's
of.
he
I
from?
guess I don't remember exactly. You know what? I'll look now. But I think because he was trying to get to go to he wanted to go to the Wizards, so I think he's from that
DC,
area. It's
like
kind
Maryland,
of let me
DMV.
see. Let's see. Oh, Tennessee. So it's not
Oh
close, but uh,
no.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, Tennessee compared to Washington D.C. and then compared to Utah, yes, it is a hell of a lot different.
Sure, yeah.
But I that still doesn't make any sense to me. Bizarre situation. So
Very.
uh, we'll move on from that. But we'll go to the NBA. Man is on fire right now, and our
Yeah.
main headline, which is not a headline we thought we would get to. I honestly, when I heard about this, I'm actually excited right now, Biggie, and I think you should be too. I'm going to tell you why in a second. But
Yep. Yep.
LeBron James opts into his deal. So, oh, he opted into his deal. Why is that so important? It's important because of the comments made by his agent, Rich Paul, who has a lot of pull in the NBA. He is one of
Oh
the
yeah.
most influential agents in sports history. And he came out and said, listen, LeBron, yes, he opted into his deal. That does not necessarily mean he's going to be wearing a Lakers uniform next year. And that is crazy because this is a team that went out and got Luka Doncic 5 months ago,
Yeah.
6 months ago at this point.
Big news
Uh,
for the NBA at that time.
oh yeah, and now he's not locked and loaded for the Lakers. Is crazy. And
Yeah.
he said right. Oh well, he didn't directly say it, but the Rich Paul said it, and we know it's coming from a reliable source because
Hmm.
Rich Paul usually when he says something, it happens. He said that LeBron wants to see what the Lakers front office is going to do in terms of moves to bring in to help this team get to a championship. Because listen, LeBron has admitted numerous times this is maybe not this year, but within the next 3 years at most, this is going to be it for him. He's not
Yeah.
playing
Oh
anymore.
yeah.
He's up there in age, and I feel in his shoes. I totally listen. As a person, I don't like LeBron, but that doesn't
I
matter.
don't anymore either. I
Yeah,
used to love him, you know that, but
yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
anymore.
But in terms of our personal, like what we think about him, has nothing to do with what he can do on the court. So that
Absolutely, God no.
exactly. So him being available, that's how I'm gonna put it, can be
Yeah.
huge for both me and you because of the teams we root for. Because I feel
Yeah.
those would be the top two teams he would be I think considering, and I can
Oh,
very
absolutely.
realistically see it. But the thing I was thinking about was, listen, LeBron, yes, he's a guy when he speaks up, people listen. So is it more of a putting the ball in the Lakers' court, saying if you don't make this move, and this move, I'm out, or is it, yeah, I want you guys to do this, so I'm gonna kind of threaten you in the sense of, yeah, I'll leave if you guys don't do this. In my opinion, knowing like just not knowing LeBron, but like learning and like seeing his personality, I feel that it could be him just trying to put pressure on the front office to go out and make a move. But
Yeah.
then again, in the next sense, I feel this could be something where it's actually real, and he forces his way out of LA and goes to another team. And the team that has to trade for him, New York, Cleveland. Someone said Miami, which I don't see happening.
I don't see
Those,
him going back to Miami.
yeah, those two teams in particular, New York and Cleveland, they won't have to give up as much as people think. That's what I'm getting at.
No, God
And
no.
what do you
No, they
think, Biggie?
won't.
Do you think that this is real, or do you think it's more of a scaring the Lakers front office saying, you guys got to go out there and get me a center. You got to get me a reliable bench. You got to go out and get there some shooters for me and Luca, because me and Luca are two guys that we love to have the ball in our hands.
Well,
But if we
sure,
don't have
yeah.
shooters on the outside, it's not going to work. And
Yeah,
what do you think?
I I want to say this is kind of a jab at the Lakers front office, him saying, "Hey,
Uh-huh.
get some guys for me and Luca here." But I also think it's a possibility that he might want to go, you know, go somewhere, to end his career where he might,
Has a
not
better chance of
necessarily,
winning, right?
yeah, better chance of winning, and even a pride thing. If he goes back to Cleveland, it'd be a thing of pride rather than winning, I think. Or
Yeah,
maybe he sees that the Cavs have the potential to get to that point, because they absolutely do.
100%.
The season they had this year, and something else we'll talk about later. Like, they're at a point where if LeBron came back, they'd probably win. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
again, the Knicks as another team in your shoes, like, yeah, if LeBron ended up going to New York, which would be insane, seeing LeBron in a Knicks jersey, I mean, come on. That would be another thing too. Like, I feel like he's still at a point in his career, wherever he goes, he's going to make an impact regardless. He's going to, help a team win. Like, and I think if he's really going to leave, I think he goes to Cleveland or something. I think him going to Cleveland is a very high possibility. Him going back,
yeah.
and possibly getting another championship for the Cavs, which I would love. I'd start watching again probably, but um, and maybe I'd start to like LeBron a little more, like I used to when I was younger. But yeah, no. But the more I look at it, I really don't know. I'm in the middle, because this could be a call for, hey, you guys got to get somebody, or it could be him saying, I want to go somewhere else for my last 3 years. Like, I'm not going to finish my career as a Laker,
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
and it also could be a thing of him not believing in the front office, maybe
yeah,
him thinking they're not going to do anything, so I'm out. It could be that too. There's a lot of different possibilities, and this is something we
lot of
didn't really expect to be talking about after the
no.
season.
Not at all, and especially after they got Luka Doncic. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
right,
I don't think
exactly.
anybody after that happened and feel like, okay, LeBron's gonna play till he's retired. Luka's gonna be that next guy to take the Lakers to wherever he wants to go. And something I heard actually for the first time in LeBron's career, this is the first time that he's let his contract get to literally the last year of it. So he's had tons of times in his career where he did player options and everything, but he's never let it get to the point where this is it. Like, this is his only contract, like, year on the contract. So that's another thing to keep an eye on, because this is very it can go either way, or any way at this point, we should say. So we'll see what happens, but very, very interesting to see what LeBron does. And man, uh, if he can get on one of those teams, the Cavs or the Knicks, he doesn't even
Yeah,
have to play that. He doesn't even have to play that great, and he will play great.
he
But he doesn't
will,
have to play.
but
He doesn't have to win.
yeah, they have enough around them where they're going to be insane if he's there
And they
no matter
wouldn't have
what.
to give either team wouldn't have to give up that much, to where they would feel, okay, we're trading for LeBron. We really think he's going to be this guy for us, and LeBron thinks he's going to come here and win. But what we're giving up is not really going to change the mindset. So that's a that's a good thing, and we'll see what happens. And I expect the if that were to be the case, LeBron leaving, it would happen really, really quick. So we'll see, because the NBA is very, very quick in terms of moves being made, and we know that right now. What the hell's going on in this free agency so
I
far. But
know, it's crazy. It's insane.
all right, let's get to it. We're gonna run down all these moves. So some moves that happened yesterday, some moves that are happening right now, some moves that happened earlier today. There's a lot going on. Jabari Smith signed a huge extension with the Rockets, so we saw KD go there last week. Now they
Yep,
lock up one of their young bucks, which is very, very
good
good
for
for
them.
them. Really, really talented player. I think he got a 5-year deal, so he'll be there for a while. I said free agency opened already, so we'll see what we're gonna get into a few things here. The draft recap, I kind of felt like the beginning of it went as expected. A
Yeah,
lot more trades, I think, than people expected. Also, the back half of the first round was literally like every guy that went up on the stage was wearing the wrong hat because they were getting traded, which
yeah,
is sad,
right. Yeah.
because the NBA does it differently. They trade after the pick, which I
Right.
don't get that.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand that. But yeah, but after like the 12th to 13th pick, all those guys going up there were wearing the wrong hats because they were just getting traded. So that was funny. But yeah, we'll move on. James Harden staying with the Clippers, a
Yeah,
massive 2-year deal. Good for the Clippers. I felt like that was a good move for them. Harden was really good this year. It was kind of like a resurgent year for him.
yeah, I agree.
We'll see what he can do in the next 2 years. Bobby Portis back with the Bucks. This is somebody that was suspended at the end of the year, so curious to see what they would do. But Portis has been really good for them. Mistakes happen, guys do
Yeah.
stupid things. We know that. So
We've talked about it.
Yeah, a little bit. We have definitely talked about it a little bit. Hornets acquired Colin Sexton, so he was traded from the Cavs to the Jazz a few years back. Now from the Jazz to the Hornets, and the Hornets are making under the radar moves right now.
Yeah, they're a team that nobody's really talking about that are making some sneaky moves and could be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could be a lower seed in the Eastern Conference, threatening at a playoff spot, and going from there. And the Jazz drafted two guards. So one was Ace Bailey that we just talked about, and then what the hell is his name? From Walter Clayton Jr. from the University of Florida, who had an insane run in March. So those are two guys that they're counting on to be good. So kind of Colin Sexton was kind of the odd man out there, and he was traded for Yusuf Nurkic, who should be a good player, a good reliable center. He'll be nice for the Jazz, I think. Then Lonzo Ball goes to Cleveland, something you actually texted me about. Who did they trade? Okoro, right? They traded Okoro.
I think so. Yes, I will fact check you on that. But
I kind of feel like he needed a change of scenery. But how do you feel? You like that Lonzo Ball move? He'll be a nice, I think, six man.
I was gonna say he's not gonna be like a stud for us. He's gonna be that six man. I agree with you on that. It's a good pickup though. I really like it.
If he stays healthy, 100%, he'll be.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to bring up. Is he going to be healthy? And I think that's another reason why I think he's going to be a six man. You know
what I mean? We'll skip the Beasley one for now. We'll stay in the moves. DeAndre Ayton has been bought out by the Portland Trailblazers. He was out. Actually, the Lakers are the favorite to get him, so that can make LeBron very happy. Ayton is a former first-round pick who can do a lot. He's a very good rim protector, and that's something that the Lakers need. Julius Randle back to the Timberwolves, a big deal. 3 years, $100 million. Played well for them throughout the entire year. Beginning was a little rough, but I think overall at the end, and especially in the postseason, he played good in the postseason. And then some other moves I actually have pulled up here on.
Yeah, I got some pulled up too. Also, it was Isaac Okoro that we did trade for Lonzo.
Yeah, he needed. I think he needed a change of scenery. But
definitely,
so ESPN has like timestamps of things that happened. So Tyus Jones going to the Orlando Magic. Big move for them. He's a very, very good depth piece in terms of point guard play. And we know they have Jalen Suggs on that team, a few other guys in the guard position. But Tyus Jones, he's a good player for them. His brother as well. I think his brother just signed a little bit before. But Nikhil Alexander Walker, SGA's actually his cousin. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's it's in the genes, I guess. NBA talent.
Yeah.
So he's going to go to the Atlanta Hawks on a 4-year, $62 million deal. So that's no joke for NAW, we'll call him, Nikhil Alexander Walker. We'll skip this one. It's kind of stupid.
Which one?
Luka Garza. He's not really important, but he's going to the Celtics.
Oh, really? Okay.
Rich Paul told told ESPN that he hasn't had any discussion with the Lakers yet about a trade, so that could be a lie as well. We don't know.
Again, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know about that. Then Brook Lopez still around.
Yeah, with the Clippers.
Yeah, that's good for them too.
That is.
Clippers.
He's still solid. He's still solid, Brook Lopez.
I can't believe I remember when he was on the
with the Nets.
Yeah, like when they were in Jersey still. So
I know.
A long time for him. Karis LeVert, former Cav, he's going to the Pistons, so that's a good move for Detroit. Clint Capella going back to the Rockets. I really like.
Oh, really? Capella's going back?
Oh, yeah. 3-year, $21 million deal. He may not start there, honestly, because they have Sengun and they have Jabari Smith. They have a few other guys on that team. He may not start there, but if you have Capella as a backup center, that's at this stage, that's pretty good for him. And then another guy, big payday, Luke Cornett, 4-year, $41 million deal with the Spurs. He'll be really, really good for them. You saw what he did with the Celtics in the postseason. He didn't really get consistent minutes either, so we'll see what happens with him. But I like that move a lot. And then Kevon Looney, a guy that's been on the Warriors, but now he is no longer on the New Orleans Pelicans for a 2-year, $16 million deal. So a good bargain for the Pelicans. I really like this move. Bruce Brown going back to the Nuggets. I don't know if you remember when they won the title 2 years ago. He was a big, big part of that team. And when they didn't bring him back, he got a good contract. I understand that. But when they didn't bring him back, that made a lot of people upset. So Bruce Brown he's a spark plug. And I don't know if you heard, Russell Westbrook is probably expected to be gone. from Denver.
Yes.
So this is kind of a good move for them. Bringing in a spark plug and someone that's been accustomed to the Denver culture and
I was
everything.
going to say someone that's been there, yeah. And then
So,
I have one or two I want to talk about that you haven't mentioned yet. D'Angelo Russell signed with the Mavs, $13 million deal.
He'll be a
It's pretty
bench
good.
guy for them.
Yeah,
They
he
have
will be.
Kyrie and Klay Thompson.
Yeah. I was going to say that's a stacked team, but and then former Cav Ty Jerome, he signed a 3-year deal with the Grizzlies.
Okay.
So I think that's going to benefit him because he was more of
need more playing time. I think
he was a bench player for us, really. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to help him go into somewhere where he's actually probably going to start. You know, because he was good. He was good off the bench for the games that he got in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
in the playoffs, I remember he had a huge game. If I remember, one of them, he put up almost 30 points, I think, in one of those games. So he played pretty well. And then Trey Jones, brother of Tyus, going to the Bulls, 3-year, $24 million deal. And I think Biggie, the biggest move of the night so far is Michael Porter Jr. traded from the Nuggets to the Brooklyn Nets. So
I know that's big.
that's a big move
I
in
know.
terms of the Nuggets kind of giving up on him a little bit, and then Cameron Johnson, who's a good player, going to Denver. So that might be a hot take here, but Cameron Johnson might be a better fit with the Nuggets than MPJ ever was. He might
You never
be.
know. We'll have to see how it pans out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then the Nets they're just doing weird stuff. They had 5 first-round
They
picks
have
the other
been.
night.
They have been for years. For the last couple of years since that they tried to build that super team that failed. They've been doing weird things. They don't know where they're at as a franchise. They really don't.
No, not at all. And then I think Dorian Finney-Smith going to the Rockets. That's a big move for playoff time. I like that one a lot. He's played well in the Lakers with LeBron and all that, so he's gone.
Yeah.
And then Jaren Jackson Jr. signing a huge extension with the Grizzlies, 5-year, $240 million. So that's a big thing for him as well. Someone that was considered that could be traded, and he's not going to be traded after that. So good for the Grizzlies. But no other. Don't see any other moves coming through right now. But if we see any, we will get to that. I love how ESPN has the timestamps on there, though. It helps a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I think we're good on the NBA for now. I just wanted to check. Yeah, and then I'll get to I have something I want to talk about the Knicks, but I'll wait till a little later for that.
Okay.
But yeah, Biggie. Before we get into the NFL, something you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, and it's something that it has on paper it looks really good, but you look at it a little bit more and it's like, oh no, this is my choked moment of the week.
Choked.
Yeah. So, as you know, if you've been following football today, the Steelers traded for Jalen Ramsey in exchange for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Now, as a Steelers fan, you're probably like, oh, Jalen Ramsey, he's great. But they make this big move, right? It's great. But at what cost? You get rid of Minkah Fitzpatrick, who's been consistently really good on your defense, which has been the really good part of your team, really. That's what's been helping you stay above 500 and get in the playoffs. I mean, I don't want to discredit the offense, but let's be real here. The Steelers' defense is what kept them around the whole season. It's what's been keeping them around for the last couple of years. Like, come on.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
the offense they've been putting out there. Exactly.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So, you trade away one of your best guys. Now, Jalen Ramsey, don't get me wrong. He's still great. He's good. But it's another one of those guys that's a locker room cancer that the Steelers just brought in.
Yep.
And it's something that they've been doing forever. I mean, Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster just got rid of George Pickens. Le'Veon Bell at the end of his career. Yes. So you just keep bringing in these guys that are cancers in the locker room, and it's just the thing that they've been doing. And JD actually brought this up to me. I didn't really think about this, and I looked into it a little bit more. Apparently, DK Metcalf and Ramsey have a little beef, and they're on the same team now. So that might cause some tension there. And you also will lose Minkah Fitzpatrick. So I don't know. I think losing Minkah for Jalen Ramsey isn't that worth it. But again, we could be wrong. And they're going to be an interesting team, to say the least, especially now after they got Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. Eyes are on them, man. I'll tell you that.
The eyes are on the Steelers.
Yeah, and something to stick with that trade was we saw that, of course, Ramsey and Fitzpatrick switching teams. Jonnu Smith, another underrated player, who's in that trade going to Pittsburgh. So now Pittsburgh, their tight end room is pretty good. Freiermuth and
Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith. Yeah. I was going to say they do have a good tight end room.
Yeah, they have a really good tight end room, and then they swapped later round picks. But I like you said, I'm really curious to see how this is going to go. Just a lot of personalities in the locker room. With the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
good
like
thing that
always.
Pittsburgh, yeah, the one good thing Pittsburgh does have going for them though is Mike Tomlin knows he can control it. I think
Oh
he'll be
yeah,
able
I
to.
mean, you look at the success he's had with the team, even though it hasn't been fantastic, and a lot of Steelers fans think he should have been fired years ago.
Yeah,
But he's there for a reason still, and I don't think it could be greedy management. But I think it's part of the reason is on the positive side of that, it's he knows how to keep a team disciplined and under control. You know what I mean? Especially for the
yeah.
people that the Steelers have had on their team.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh God.
So now
Oof.
all these guys on one is a little
Yeah,
much.
you get rid of your upcoming locker room cancer, George Pickens, and you send him to a team which is a cancer in itself, the Dallas Cowboys. But then you bring in more, and it's just it just never seems to end.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But Steelers will have a lot of attention on them. They listen. They went out there this offseason and they made moves, man. They're
Yeah,
really
they
they're
did.
going for it. They're not gonna. Darius Slay's another guy who could be a
Yeah,
personality of his own a little bit, not as much as
yeah. I mean, there were so many times he would go out of the game for 2 quarters and just come back. He'd have these injuries every week, and it kind of made me upset because he's great and he was a huge part of our secondary in Philly. But he has that attitude to him. I agree.
Yeah, so like we said before the show, this can either go really, really good or it can go south quick. To me, it depends how they start out the first 6, 7 games of the year. If they're
Yeah,
having success, I think they're just gonna ride it and keep going. And if they don't start out good, we can very easily see that tank uh go right down pretty quick.
yeah.
And
I agree,
especially
especially with the guys you have.
yeah, and especially I know being a Jets fan, watching Rodgers kind of give up a little bit once the team didn't win many games. I could see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
happening. Then Metcalf being upset at Rodgers for things, then Ramsey and that whole thing. Then TJ Watt's not really happy right
I
now,
was
but
gonna say he might be gone.
yeah, he might be traded. So if you can get all the guys happy, then yeah, it's gonna work. But if not,
Good
and
luck.
winning cures everything, though. We should say that winning will cure everything. So if they go out there and they start out great, then it'll be fine. But if not, they're gonna have problems. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
But we'll see what happens. And then one other thing in the NFL before we move into our surprise little segment,
Yeah.
just for the week because it's a big week here this week is Todd Bowles and Jason Licht, head coach and GM of the Tampa Bay Bucks, of course, both signed multi-year extensions. So this is a team that's had really good success for the past few years. Hasn't really gotten past a certain point in the playoffs, but I guess they think that they can with these guys in charge. So we'll see what happens. So they got their quarterback locked up, they got their head coach, and they got their GM. So seems like the Bucks are going to try to go with this, and that's a division every year that's up for grabs. And the Bucks kind of
Yeah, it's not a great one.
no, not a good division at all. And the
No.
Bucks they've had control of it, so they feel
Yeah.
why try to break something up or not get these guys make them feel comfortable. So when they know they have multi-year deals now, they don't have to feel as much pressure on them. And that's a good thing, I guess, for them. Now they know, okay, we have this group of people leading us in the right direction, and we'll see what happens. But Tampa Bay, yeah, they're doing it right. Me personally, I don't like Todd Bowles. I don't think he can get the most out of a team, but he
Yeah,
has the
no.
option to playoffs, so that you uh, can't really deny the fact that he has. You can't deny the fact he's made the playoffs.
I
And then
agree.
yeah, so that'll do it for the NFL. Nothing much obviously going on in the NFL right now. You're gonna be quiet for another month or so. But before we hit the how you doing segment, Biggie, it's a debut of Biggie's top 5 list. And for this week, it'll be, of course, 4th of July is on Friday. And
Yes.
Biggie is very invested into the 4th of July holiday. He loves it. So we're going
Yes.
to get his top 5 foods. And if people disagree, go at him in the comments. He said I
Yeah.
said it when we opened the show.
Come at me, bro. Like I said, come at me, bro.
I'm at him. He wants to hear the feedback. And if you don't agree with what he's saying, go after him.
Yeah.
He wants it. He's ready for the fight. He said.
Yeah.
Take it away.
All right, so we're gonna start with our 5th spot here, and I'm gonna go with watermelon.
Okay. All
So
right.
watermelon is the fruit of choice for the summer, for the most part. You know what I mean? But it's fruit. Fruit. It's a really good fruit. It's healthy for you, but on holidays you're not trying to eat healthy, right?
Not really.
No, you're not. But watermelon, it's in the top 5. It has to be. It's essential for summer, and this is the essential summer holiday. Let's be honest here.
It is.
So it has to go in the top 5 for me. Number 4, I'm gonna go with barbecue chicken. So like and not just barbecue chicken, it'd be any sort of barbecue, chicken, pork, stuff like that, something like that. But I'm gonna go barbecue chicken because that seems to be the most popular for the 4th because people are grilling and all that stuff. So that's going to be my number 4 pick. So yeah, again, just overall barbecue, but I think chicken is my safe option there. Number 3, I'm going to go with ice cream.
All right.
Because, it's dessert. Watermelon's also dessert. There's 2 desserts on here because otherwise, I mean, if you look at the actual foods of the 4th of July, like 4th of July foods, they're just in general. You know what I mean?
Any day.
Yeah, exactly. But watermelon is seasonal for sure. I'm sure most of know that. It's not as good in the winter time as it is in the summer, because of the way it grows. And ice cream, that's a summer thing. So I'm gonna put that in my number 3 spot because it's you have your parties. I'm sure you serve ice cream if you're lucky enough. You have an ice cream truck in your neighborhood. Probably comes around on the 4th. Get yourself a nice soft serve and go on with your day. Now. The top 2 are going to be the most controversial, in my opinion.
I'm ready.
Number 2.
I didn't see this list, so I have no clue where going right now.
Number 2, hamburgers, cheeseburgers is number 2. Yeah, I obviously great. You know what I mean?
My number 1.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear what you have to say, but it would be my number 1.
Yeah, no, not for me. I'd put burgers at number 2 because sometimes they're a little overdone. And,
that's the thing you have to take into account. Who's grilling?
Yeah, the grilling does. It is. It really is. It is.
With a hockey puck or a nice made burger. You don't know.
It's a nice, juicy, melt in your mouth type burger, but you're not getting that most of the time. And sometimes, you can't really spice up your burger as much as you can as your number 1 option, and that is the hot dog. Wow. The hot dog is the number 1. That 4th of July food. I mean,
okay, so I definitely could disagree with you.
Yeah, that's why it says controversial.
Yes, well, listen, I'm more of a burger guy than a hot dog guy, so that's why I'm going to disagree. And what do you put on the good old glizzy? What do you put on?
Oh, you're going to be surprised. So I don't like ketchup or mustard at all.
I would never put ketchup on it anyway. Really?
Yeah. Yes, I don't like mustard. I am a huge fan of chili cheese dogs. So usually for the 4th, when I'm actually home, I'm not this year. I'll be down the shore, Wildwood, New Jersey. I'll be down there for the 4th. But in the past, when I've been to party,
if you see Biggie, say hi.
Say hello.
We'll gladly take their recognition.
Yes, absolutely. But I am a big fan of chili dogs, so we usually make a thing of the chili, and I've always put it on my hot dogs.
Right on.
So good.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You could spice up a hot dog a little more than a cheeseburger, I think, personally. Even if you like ketchup and mustard and relish, there's a lot more you can put on there. You can be very versatile with your hot dog.
Right. You are right. You are right.
And when you think of American food, what's the first thing you think of? You're going to say cheeseburger, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Nah, I feel like a hot dog is more of an American food than cheeseburger. We already got some comments here, so let's see. Okay, so I don't know if it's an opinion or not, but Robert D'Angelo here, he's got both of them going here. Let's go. Let's go. So I love all the top 5. I love it. I love to hear it. Thank you. We appreciate that. But yeah, I just think the hot dog's more versatile and it's more American than a cheeseburger is.
All right, yeah. Me and you will disagree on 1 and 2 for probably the rest of our lives, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless it's a life-changing experience, but I
unless I have a terrible hot dog.
Yeah, I love the cheeseburgers, man. I can a nice. It depends, though. Like I said, whoever's grilling. If it's not good, like grilled well, then that's a problem. But we'll see. Now I got to send you a video showing you that a burger is better than a hot dog on Friday.
All right.
We'll have this might be the first thing we've actually had a full-blown disagreement on. I know we're not arguing, but a disagreement for once.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. That was much needed. A little top 5 from Biggie. We'll have more of those as we go along, but I felt like this week definitely we
fitting for the holiday.
Yeah, perfect time for that. And But
Yeah, I
Friday will be
agree.
fun. This is a good week. But we'll move on here to the how you doing segment. So
How
how
you
you doing,
doing?
Biggie? How you doing, Biggie? We'll let you start first. I know both of us aren't feeling too hot about our teams,
At least our
particularly our
active
baseball
teams.
teams right now. Yeah, active teams. Uh, I'll let you go first, and then I'll take over after that because I'm probably going to be a little upset today. So
Yeah, I'm gonna let you have most of the time because the thing I'm gonna talk about is just the Yankees. Like I said earlier, can't really, they are losing these weird games. Like I said, shut out by the A's, and then they're losing. What was it? 2 out of 3 to Cleveland a couple weeks ago, and just losses that you shouldn't have. Now, granted, they're doing enough to get by, but they're not playing up to the Yankee standard. They're not playing how they were at the beginning of the year. And they're losing these meaningless games. And when you have Tampa Bay that close behind you in the standings, it's going to catch up to you. So, and as we speak right now, the Yankees are up 3-1 on Toronto right now, which is good. Thank you, ESPN, for adding this feature on the iPhone where literally I open my phone, you could see, and it's right here.
yeah, that's perfect.
Really awesome. So like anytime I'm out, I can see the Yankees score, and I'm sure we'll do that for football season and all that because you may or may not know football season's busy for me, even though I don't play anymore. On the media aspect of things and the traveling aspect, football is going to be busy, and I'm excited this year. But at least I'm going to have fun with it this year.
Yeah.
And I need to follow the Syracuse Orange on my Saturdays when I am not there when they're away. So and I'm not actually in the 315. But yeah, so yeah, Yankees just need to get it together a little bit, but they are winning. They are winning, but they're doing just enough to get by, and Tampa Bay's coming up close behind. So, And then NBA, Cavs traded for Lonzo Ball. Again, probably going to be a bench guy for us. Someone who I think will help us, be a good 6-man, but nothing too crazy, nothing new on Donovan Mitchell. I think he's probably going to stay, which is good. We haven't seen it, but that could change because of how much is going out right now. We're hitting free agency. So, that could change, in the matter of, minutes and days, minutes, hours, days, weeks, he could be gone. So, but for right now, he's still here, and the Cavs look like they can, keep that solid team that they had and maybe make it a little farther than they should have. You know what I mean? Like they make it a little farther than they did. And then football, nothing new, Syracuse, nothing crazy. I mean, college football is in a very dead period, but we are so close. We are so close to the first Saturday of college football.
We're
I
almost
am
there.
counting down the weeks. I cannot wait. The Eagles, nothing new nothing new with the offseason moves. Again, very dead. Flyers coming off a very good draft. Big move last week. Porter Matrone, first overall pick. I think it's a solid one. And they're making some under the radar, some nice moves that I think are going to help them. And they're going to be a team that, I don't want to get my hopes up like I do all the time, but they could, they could be good. They can shock some people this year. But again, you never know. It's Philly. You know how they roll. But yeah, that's really all I got to talk about. We're in a dead period again. It's just baseball right now. So, and I already talked about the Yanks. So yeah, JD, you want to take it over? Time to meet the Mets.
Yeah, we're gonna start with the Mets today because I'm not happy with them at all, and there's a few problems I wanted to get to because it's not usually when a team loses, it's not always one particular aspect of their game. It's a bunch of different things, and right now, yes, I understand they have injuries. Every team has injuries, so you can't use that as an excuse. But the fact that the starting rotation, the guys they have in there right now, I love David Stearns. He's done really good things for the Mets. But when you go bargain shopping, it's bargain shopping for a reason. And then that's the exact my point is yeah, you can go get guys for cheap money and they're gonna produce for you for spurts. And that's what you have to live with. You have to live with the fact that certain guys in the starting rotation are bargain type deals that they made and they're not going to consistently pitch well. And when they don't pitch well, it's usually going to be really bad. And that's what's going on right now. The starting rotation I think now over the last 6 or 7 games, they have failed to go more than 5 innings. So they have not gotten more than 15 outs in a game. You know how bad that is?
Yeah, that's pretty
Like,
bad.
I know it's a day and age when the starting rotation, the guys in the starting rotation don't go deep anyway. But consistently every night, you can't get a starter going more than 5 innings. Really, really? Come on,
Yeah.
it's not good. It's really not good. And Clay Holmes he's running out of fuel. You could see it. He can't go more than 5 innings without throwing 100 pitches. So you can't You can't fault him though. That's a guy you can't fault because he has not gotten to this many innings in a very long time. So it's very tough to say, okay, so Clay Holmes is yeah, he's over his total of the last 2 years pretty much. And now you're expecting him to go double or triple the amount of innings he's ever went. He's not going to be able to do it.
Right.
David Peterson, I don't know what's up with him. Kind of feels like once he got the pressure on him of being the ace, he's kind of like just not done anything. Last 2 starts, he's gotten hit around a lot against Pittsburgh too. That's another thing I'll get to in a little bit. But he did not pitch good against Pittsburgh in the slightest. I don't know what's going on with him, but he hasn't looked great. I said it last week. Senga is still hurt. He won't be back for a little bit. Canning is now out for the season, so that's new news we didn't talk about last week. His Achilles is gone, so he's out for the year. Who am I missing? McGill, the elbow sprain, he's hurt. So that's 3 starters. And Mania. So 4 guys starting guys that are hurt. 2 really should be in the rotation right now that they need. Mania is on the way, so they need him big. He needs to be what he was last year, and Senga needs to be what he was before he got hurt. I said this the other day when I was doing the episode 50 by myself, was that those 2 guys, if they don't come back and they aren't themselves, I don't know how far this team can really go in the postseason. I don't know because
Yeah.
you need pitching to win, and they just don't have it right now. They don't have the horses to get this team going in the right direction. Usually when good teams are on losing streaks, they know they give the ball to a certain starter that night, and he's the guy that can end the losing, and let's move forward. They don't have that right now. They don't have that guy right now. And the Peterson, yes, can be that type of player. He's not doing it. Paul Blackburn stinks. I wish this guy gets cut. He's terrible. Montas had a really good first start, second start against the Pirates, awful. I told you he wasn't going to be good, so I don't know why people thought that would be the case. He is not good and has never really been good for the most part. Then they Blade Tidwell is a rookie. It's tough to throw him in the middle of this whole thing and expect him to be something productive. He hasn't really been too great either. So there's a lot of just question marks in terms of the starting rotation. But a lot of those questions can be solved if Senga and Mania come back being what they can be. And then Mania, it's tough, though, because he has not pitched a single inning this whole year. But if you can get something what Mania was last year, even maybe 50% of what he was, that's huge. So Mania, Senga, and Holmes, Peterson, that's a formidable 4 guys. And then at the deadline, I don't care if those guys come back and look like Cy Young himself. No, that you have to go out there and get another starter because it's not. You can't rely on certain guys right now. Just guys, 2 guys that are injured, one that just looks tired, and the other guy just having a rough time. You can't rely on that. So go out there. Got to get yourself another starter that can be someone that goes out there every 5th day and goes and does it. I don't even care if it's Severino at this point. You know he can be productive for you. If you don't want to go to a certain level of giving up prospects, he could be that type of guy. There's a bunch of avenues you can take. Better than putting out there Paul Blackburn and Frankie Montas and whoever else you want to think of putting out there. It's not going to work. And they don't want to bring the other prospects up for whatever reason. They don't want to. So they got to live with it then. And that's why you got to go out there and get another starter. And then with the bullpen. So this is another thing with this team. They've made about 10 or 12 transactions in the last those 2 weeks in terms of relievers. So they're rotating 2 or 3 relievers every night. That shows right there that it's not going well at the back end of the bullpen. And when the starters are going deep into games, you have to use those guys more often, and it blows up in your face. So the pitching right now as a whole, there's a lot of issues with it, and the holes they're glaring. And this is the thing: when teams have holes in specific areas, especially pitching, they're going to come out and it's going to show, and you can't hide it. You really can't hide it. And the bullpen, yes, they could be better. I think Brooks Raley, a lefty that they've had him for the last 2 years, but he re-signed with them really late. He's a guy that is on the mend. He's coming soon. But he's going to be huge for this team because they're relying on lefties that are not productive lefties out of the bullpen. Dickey Lovelady, Jose Castillo, Colin Poche. Some of these guys I never even heard of in my life. I think I can hit them lefty, and they're just bringing them out. I'm missing one. I know they had another lefty. Oh, it was a prospect, Pinata or something like that. Frank the Tank was calling him Pinata. So there's a lot of guys that they're putting out there right now that are just not MLB caliber relievers.
Right, yeah. But
I'm joking about it, but that's the point I'm trying to make. They're putting guys out there that don't belong. And at the deadline, you got to go out there and get a big time reliever and a starter at the very least. And also, you got to go out there and get a center fielder. That was my next point. Tyrone Taylor, good little player, not an everyday center fielder, not going to work. Jeff McNeil is not a center fielder by anybody's stretch. Yes, he's doing all right out there. Can I have that guy in center field in a playoff game? Not going to work. So
it's not working right now.
Yeah, clearly not. You got to go out there and get a center fielder that can hit and of course play the position. But hitting is the most important part to this. They need a center fielder that can play every day and swing the bat well, and a guy that you could stick in the middle of the order and hit. That's what you need because the lineup takes a little bit of a drop off. Vientos, they need to get him going. There's a lot of issues within this team that could be fixed, yes, but I don't when. When are they going to be fixed? That's the main goal here. And also, the thing that upsets me with this team and that been pissing me off is yes, they're not playing good baseball. I get that, but the energy is at an all-time low. I don't know why the energy has to go down when you're not winning. I know, I understand. I play, you played, you get it. Like the energy when you're not winning, it's very tough to be all into it. But come on, this team. Where's the mojo that you had last year for the last 4 months of the season? Where is that? Even when they were winning, I didn't see it. I did not see it really when they were winning. I don't know where it's gone. I don't know. I know last year is different than this year, but that energy has to come back. We need it. Jesse Winker is on. He's coming back soon. He's a guy that brings the energy every night. Even if he's not hitting, he's there. Even if he's not playing, he's there. So that's a guy that need to count on. He needs to get the boys going. Sean Manaea, another guy. Like I just talked about him 3 or 4 times. He's a guy. Even when he's not every night that he's not pitching, he's in the middle of something involving that team. He needs to get the boys going. They need to bring more energy, and even the guys on the field, they need to show more spunk. They need something going right now.
Yeah,
I know they had a players meeting. They had a players meeting or whatever 2 days ago. They got smacked around the next game, so that didn't do anything for them, and that's embarrassing that they lost to the Pirates the way they did.
Yeah,
they let up 30 runs and scored 4. Really?
That's bad.
Against the Pirates.
Yeah.
They're one of the most poverty teams in the entire MLB. And you get swept. Listen, teams lose to teams, but embarrassed 30-4 combined in 3 games. They needed this off day. This better be an off day where they come back. They better come out tomorrow swinging, and they better come out tomorrow with energy, and they got to win. They have to get this team going, and they have to do it quickly because the division's going to fall out of reach, and before you know it, they're going to be on the wrong side of the wild card. And once that happens, it doesn't look like they're the type of team that can come back from adversity.
The way they're playing right now, absolutely not.
I don't get why this has come to this. I understand injuries. I said that before. I'm repeating myself a little bit, but they need to figure it out. They need to figure it out quickly because they got the Brewers, they got the Yankees this week, and those are 2 teams that will come in and smack you around worse than what the Pirates did, because the Pirates stink, of course. The Brewers are playing best baseball in baseball. One of the best teams in baseball right now are the Brewers, and the Yankees are the Yankees. We know the rivalry that comes with that.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be something. Just like you said before, the Mets and the Yankees, both of these teams haven't been playing great, but this weekend can get one team going in the right direction, and the other team to fold. So we'll see what happens, but they need to. They're very lucky they started out great, but that's it with the Mets. I'm just not happy with them overall right now. I know I'm wearing a jersey. It's Soto. Actually, Soto had a tremendous June. One of the best months of June in history of the Mets. So I'm very happy with that. But before we move on to our pick'em segment,
we got 2 comments too for you, JD.
Oh yeah, Uncle Robert. He's been telling me about Winker. He's been saying that Winker is going to be that type of guy. He is a spark plug. I love Winker. He brings it every night. So we'll see what happens with him. But they need him. And yeah, the off days, the pitching is taxed. So that's good to see. They have an off day, reset a little bit, and go from there. But the off days don't mean anything if the starting rotation can't go more than 5 innings. That's my point. They need to get length out of this team, and it has to happen quickly. But before we move on from the how you doing here, I just want to talk about the Knicks a little bit, just in hopes of who they're going to get in free agency. So supposedly Jordan Clarkson, former Laker, was on the Jazz the past few years. who's a very, very good bench piece. He's getting let go by the Jazz soon. So the Knicks have been said to be all over him, and also Russell Westbrook. So either one of those guys, if they can get either one of those guys, I would like that. More so Clarkson. I think Clarkson would fit this team better just because of his shooting. He is really, 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 really good shooter. So I hope they can do that. And also, I just am confused as to how they can make moves and things like that when they don't have a coach. So I don't really know how much stock you can take into that. But I think they'll be okay. And then Mike Brown is going in for his second interview. I don't really want him as the coach, but he's the only guy to go in for a second interview. So that'll tell you a little something. I mean, and
Yeah.
also he coached LeBron early in his career. So if that can get any little hope of getting LeBron to New York, that can be another part of that. Getting LeBron here can maybe because he's playing for a coach that he played with when he was a young guy in the league.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens with the Knicks. And then with I know it has nothing to do with the Jets, but the Dolphins got worse. So hopefully this year the Jets won't be a last place team. They probably will be, but maybe they won't be last place. They could be
Yeah.
competing for third place this year. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, everything else is good in terms of sports. But I had to get that off my chest with the Mets. There's just too much going on with them that need to be talked about. I
Yeah.
ramble for sure, but had to be said. There's just some things that aren't making us fans happy, and it has to be known. But yeah, so moving in, take June. June is over. Now we go into July. Play a
Yeah.
nice week, 2 weeks going into the All-Star break, and go from there. So we'll see what happens. But this is big stretch coming up. They have to figure it out and do it quickly. But yeah, Biggie. So we'll do the pick'em. So the standings right now, I'm at 3-2 after last week winning the Astros Phillies game. That game was only 1-0. So once again, another
Yeah.
close. And now you're at 2-3, but we can very easily be tied up after this week just based off our picks, or I can extend my lead, which is hopefully the case because I am not good. I'll tell you this now. I am terrible at picking football games. So if I can have a large lead going into the college and NFL season, that would
Yeah.
that would be big for me because I am terrible. I am telling you, I am one of the worst people to ever pick football games. I don't know what it
Really?
is. I am not good at it. I love watching football. I know football, but when I get to pick them, I am terrible. I don't know what it
Really?
is. Yeah,
Huh.
I'm not good at it, and I know you know your football, so I have
Yeah.
to dig
Especially
deeper.
college.
Yeah, of course, and we'll pick those games as well. So I have to make sure I can get a big lead before that happens, because or else I will be in last place pretty quickly. But this week we will do the Mets versus Yankees, which isn't until Friday, so it's a little bit
Mhm.
away. But we said July 4th weekend. Last time the Mets played the Yankees on July 4th, it was a very entertaining. It was at Yankee Stadium a few years
Yep.
back. I don't know if you remember that. Very, very
I
entertaining.
do.
I'm sure this time at Citi Field it will be great. It's Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, so the fans will be packing out the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone at their barbecues will be
Getting their
watching.
hot dogs.
Oh yeah, enjoying everything. Burgers, they're enjoying their
Hot
burgers.
dogs.
But anybody that has a TV out in their backyard will definitely have the Mets and Yankees game on. Of course, if they're a
Oh,
fan.
yeah. And I'm sure everyone on Staten Island will.
Oh yeah, we'll be beefing with each other. I know some Yankee fans will be at my house, so that'll be fun. Have some Met fans as well. It'll be a lot of entertainment going on. But we're gonna pick this game, so we people probably know what we're gonna go to right now with me being a Mets fan, you being a Yankee fan. But
Yeah.
I still think it's good to pick this one because it's probably the best just matchup of the week and
Mhm.
spice it up a little bit. But I have here, yes, my bets have been terrible. Have no confidence picking them for this game, but I'm going with the pitching matchup. So the pitching matchup is Marcus Stroman as of right now. Marcus Stroman and Paul Blackburn, two guys that have been awful so far. But I feel the Blackburn can maybe get deeper into the game. I don't know, maybe 5 innings compared to 4 innings at this rate, but he can get a
Mhm.
little deeper into the game. And I feel the Mets, they for some reason when guys they face former teammates, they hit them around a little bit. So I think they're gonna get to Stroman very early in that game, and they will get out to a big lead. And I actually think that the Mets will almost blow the game, which I hope that's not the case. But I think
Yeah,
they
you
will
hope
almost
not.
blow the game at the end, and they're going to squeak away with an 8-6 win. So I'm expecting another close one. And with the way we've been picking games, probably will be another close game. Just cause, man. All these games we've been going with have been super close. But Biggie, what do you got? Everyone probably knows
Yeah.
what you got, but
Yeah, it's a tough call. It really is. But I'm going to take the Yankees. But Do not be surprised if the Mets do win. It's a battle of, this is a game that's always very competitive, always a great series, Subway series. And both these teams, now more of the Mets, I think personally, I mean, you look at it, are struggling. They're in skids. They're at risk of falling behind. You know what I mean? And the Mets kind of have a little bit, with the Phillies up there, and the Yankees are very, very close with Tampa Bay creeping up behind them. And I just think the way the Mets have been playing, and then, like I said, the Yankees are doing enough to get by. You know what I mean? They're not playing fantastic baseball, but they are still winning crucial games. But they're also, losing stupid games. I'm going to keep bringing up getting shut out by the A's. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. They're doing things like that, but they're still playing good enough baseball. But, it's going to be a low-scoring game, in my opinion. I know you said differently because of the pitching matchup. But I think the Yankees win 3-1.
All right. Yeah.
I think they get the win 3-1 again. But don't be surprised if the Mets win, though. It's not a guarantee win for the Yankees, but I just think that it's going to end up that way.
Yeah, and I'm saying the same thing. I would not be shocked if the Yankees win, just because both teams aren't playing great right now. The Yankees are playing a little better, and it seems like
the type of game it is. You know what I mean? The Subway Series is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And one thing I did want to hit before we leave, it's kind of more of an episode thing as well. So this Sunday coming up will be like all the All-Stars will be announced and everything like that. So we're gonna have CT come on next week for baseball. We'll have him talk just baseball in general. He's also a Yankees fan, so he'll maybe make you guys can make each other feel better or worse. We'll see how he feels about the situation. But yeah, next week we'll get him on for that, just because the week after will be the home run derby. So we're still going to see what we're going to do for the home run derby and everything like that. But maybe have him back for that as well for a little bit. But he'll come on next week, talk some baseball. Because the All-Star game is going to be here before you know it. And these guys are going to be announced Sunday night. So it's good to give them recognition and all that good stuff. But before, I just want to make sure no new hockey news or NBA news is coming through before we
double check on that for us before we sign off for the night.
Yeah, definitely, just in case something big comes through before. I'll hit the NBA first because I had that up last, and then we'll get to the NHL. Let's see what we got going here. These are just trades. I don't know why it's doing that. Let me find the free agency part. There we go. Okay. Since we last got into it, only one move. Luke Kennard going to the Atlanta Hawks on a 1-year, $11 million deal. So 2 moves made by the Hawks tonight. I don't know if you saw this. A report from someone involving the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young has been said to be very influential in this free agency. So I guess he's tired of losing. So I mean, I understand that. But yeah, he's very much into the moves being made by the Hawks. He's loving it. And yeah, that's it. For the NBA, let me go to the NHL quick, and then we'll sign off. I just want to make sure because
make sure nothing made it miss.
Getting traded, and then something happens crazy. So,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick Kane returns to the Red Wings, 1-year, $3 million contract. So short for him, and good move. Oh, I think we skipped this one before.
What one?
Aaron Ekblad from.
For the Panthers. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't hit on that. He's signing again. Yeah, it's another thing that another guy they're signing to bring back. Keep that core.
Yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with him. You probably are. Maselli from the Maple Leafs was traded to the Utah Mammoth, 24-year-old. It says he needed a much-needed fresh start, so I don't know if that's a good thing for him. But yeah, going to the Utah Mammoth. So Toronto making some moves as well, but a lot of teams
I think it's rebuild time in Toronto.
Yeah, a lot of teams making moves for sure. And by next week, we'll definitely hit up the NBA and the NHL once again because I'm sure some big time moves are going to happen before then. Giannis, we don't know what's going to happen with him. Now LeBron, we don't know what's going to happen with him.
I know.
NHL, we don't know who's going to be on the move. Some teams may do something crazy. We'll see what happens. Baseball next week, we'll announce. We'll go through the All-Star teams and see maybe guys that got snubbed, guys that should start but aren't starting. CT will be on. We'll get him on probably in the back half of the show to get through the MLB, maybe the beginning, see what he's ready for, but he'll be on here. I haven't had CT on in a while, so it's going to see how he's feeling with the Yankees. He's usually cool, calm, and collected, but honestly, if the Yankees don't have a good week after how they've been playing, he may not feel that way. So we'll see what happens with him. And then, yeah, Biggie, anything you want to say before I get this one wrapped up here?
No, I got nothing to say. Just everyone, thanks for watching, whoever did, and enjoy the holiday weekend.
Oh yeah, big week, man. It starts Friday, and we're going through the entire weekend. I just want to thank everyone for just like you said, watching everything. Episode 51. I cannot believe it's been 51 episodes. But the reels will be up all week. We'll be back next Monday. Just go out there, subscribe to the YouTube page, like all the reels on Instagram and TikTok, and yeah, that'll do it. I'm JD. Biggie, we're out.
See ya.